Hi everybody and welcome to Mary's Corner. Well, it's that time of the year, getting ready for the spring. I love the spring because you know what that means, summertime. I just love it. Well, anyways, during this time of the year, it's always a good idea to start planting your seeds. And sometimes, if you have a vegetable garden, a flowering garden, or whatever you plan on doing, sometimes during the cooler months, before the spring, it's always good to plant like an indoor growing area. Now, I got this from the dollar store. It's actually a little planting. I guess you can say it's a seed starting greenhouse, and it has a dome on it too. And I'm hoping this will bring me some good luck this year. We shall see. So we're going to first start off with putting some nice soil that I bought. And we're going to put it in these kit, right, that I just bought. So I'll see you in a moment, okay? So we're back now. Hi, everybody. Yes, they say if you decide to start your seeds indoors, plan to sow them 6 to 8 weeks before your average last frost date. Very important. And another important thing to do also is to make sure the soil is moist, but not to do too much saturation. In fact, I think it's a good idea to use like a spray bottle. This way you just don't overdo it with the water. At the beginning process of this, these steps to start a seedling, for these seeds to germinate, it's very important to keep the soil moist, okay? But anyways, as they said right here, here's a few tips to keep you started, to help get you started. All right. If you don't have a nice little geranium like I got here with the cover, right like that, you could even use anything. You can even use yogurt cups. Anything you can get, it's great, okay? The main thing, like I mentioned before, it's very important to keep the soil moist and make sure there's plenty of light, all right? So let's get started here, okay? So like I mentioned before, I filled this up with soil, okay? All right. So anyways, here we go. You plant 2 to 3 seeds per starter tray cell. Now, those are the special type of trays you get like at our greenery, nursery or whatever. We're just using this simple one we just got from the dollar store that I got, okay? But like I says, if you just really have to just pay attention to what your package of seeds are, okay? And it says, like over here, days to germinate, 5 to 8. Your depth to sow is 1/4 of an inch. So it's not that far. The seed spacing should be 2 to 3 inches, okay? And the growth height is 2 to 3 feet. Wow. And the easiest outdoor flower for me, it's a very hardy flower, is a marigold. And those are annual flowers. So very good. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to first start. Here we go. We are going to first start off by actually making divots in here. Okay, you can use a stick. I'm just using like this. So as you can tell, I made my little divots here, okay, with my stick. And now they mentioned about putting 2 seeds in each divot hole. Okay. All right, so here we go. We got our 2 seeds apiece here. We're going to just keep putting them in here, right? All right. That was only one. All right, so we have our seeds in there. Now we're going to get to the next step. So as you can tell now, I covered up the seeds, and now we're going to start getting ready to water the soil here. Okay, so now we're going to basically just water this with a nice spray bottle like I'm using here now, okay? We don't want to oversaturate it too much because it's just not a good thing to put too much water in it because you don't want to it's going to be overkill if you do that, all right? So yes, and like I said, by doing that, I mean, it alleviates the risk of, damping off here, okay? So yeah, so it's always good to water this daily. And I think we're pretty good here. What do you think? All right, I'm going to turn this around and I'll see you in a few seconds. So I'm back, everybody. Hi. Now, since the water's been nicely dampened, we now put our dome over the top of our little greenhouse. And as I mentioned earlier, light is very important, to make this be successful. Water and light. I can't stress that enough. But anyways, they said if using the light from a south-facing window instead of grow lights, turn your trays daily to help straighten out the seedlings, which will lean, it has a tendency to lean to the direction of the light. So you don't want to have everything going like that. So it's very important to rotate it just to, so that won't happen, okay? So anyways, we talked about germination. And they says, at the very first sign of any grain, after the germination process, you take the dome off. The dome comes off and it goes back to being like this, okay? And once you get there, once it germinates, it's very important to feed the seedlings with liquid fertilizer a few weeks after germination and continue until you transplant them in your garden. And they also mention about a week before you wish to transplant them, start hardening them harden them off outdoors to make them more used to the weather, okay? Them to the new growing conditions, because they have to remember you in a nice warm house, and now you can bring them to the outdoors. So when you're outdoors, especially in the Northeast, sometimes it can be chilly or warmer. It's New England, and all types of weather like this is very unpredictable. So it's best to get them used to the type of weather that is outside. All right. And when you do transplant them, it's also best to do your transplanting on a cloudy day or in the evening even. And this is so the transplants don't have so much heat stress, to deal with when they, and having them getting used to the temperature outside. Okay. And I think if you do everything right, follow your seed package, follow the directions on your kit here. If you follow all the directions, and everything will be great. You'll have beautiful flowers and, or vegetables, whatever you choose to grow, right? And this is, like I mentioned, this is a very good thing, to grow indoors until the weather gets warmer. But if you do live in a nice warm climate, then of course, you just plant them outside, right in the ground, okay? So happy planting, everybody.